Bad Boys for Life is a 2020 American buddy cop action comedy film that is the sequel to Bad Boys 2, 2003, and the third installment in the Bad Boys franchise. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence reprise their starring roles in the film, which is directed by Adil El Arbi and by Lal Falla. Teresa Randall and Joe Pantoliano also reprise previous roles and are joined by Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, Paula Nunez, Charles Melton, Kate Del Castillo, and Nicky Jam. The film was produced by Smith, Jerry Bruckheimer, and Doug Belgrad, with a screenplay written by Chris Bremner, Peter Craig, and Joe Carnahan. In the film, Miami detectives Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett investigate a string of murders tied to Lowrey's troubled past. A third Bad Boys film was contemplated following the release of the second film in 2003, with Michael Bay stating he would be interested in returning to direct, but budgetary constraints led to stalled efforts. Over the years, a variety of writers and directors were attached as the film went through multiple attempts to enter production. The project was eventually finalized and greenlit in October 2018, and filming began the following year, lasting from January to June 2019. Principal photography took place in Atlanta, Miami, and Mexico City. Bad Boys for Life was theatrically released in the United States on January 17, 2020, by Sony Pictures, releasing under the Columbia Pictures label. The film was generally well received by critics and grossed $426.5 million worldwide, becoming the third highest grossing January release of all time. It was also the highest grossing film of the year domestically in the United States, the fourth highest grossing film of 2020 and the highest grossing film in the franchise. A sequel, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, was released on June 7, 2024. Plot: 17 years after Johnny Tapia was taken down by Miami PD detectives Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett, Isabel Aredas, widow of cartel kingpin Benito, escapes from a Mexican prison with the aid of her son Armando. Isabel sends Armando to Miami, tasking him with recovering a substantial stash of money Benito had hidden, as well as assassinating the people responsible for his arrest and eventual death in prison. Isabel also demands that Armando kill Mike last. In Miami, Mike accompanies Marcus to the birth of his first grandson. Marcus wants to spend more time with his family, so he tells Mike he intends to retire, to Mike's chagrin. During a foot race against Marcus to prove who is faster, Mike is shot by Armando and left in a coma for months. Chastised by Isabel for targeting Mike first, Armando continues to assassinate other targets on his list during Mike's convalescence. Following Mike's recovery, he is determined to seek revenge and unsuccessfully attempts to recruit the now retired Marcus, which causes them to fall out. An informant gives Mike the identity of arms dealer Booker Grassi. Realizing that Mike will not heed orders to avoid the investigation, Captain Conrad Howard reluctantly allows him to work with the tech-driven team in charge, Advanced Miami Metro Operations, AMO, led by Mike's ex-girlfriend, Lieutenant Rita Sakata. While the team surveils Grassi at an arms deal, Mike intervenes after determining the buyers intend to kill Grassi, but he fails to save him. Later, Marcus is called by Carver Remy, an old informant who believes the assassin is after him. Marcus and Mike travel to Carver, but he is killed as they arrive. Armando escapes after a fist fight with Mike. Captain Howard later reveals his intentions to retire, advising Mike that he needs to find a path forward in life. Moments later he is assassinated by Armando. The captain's abrupt death pulls Marcus out of retirement, but he convinces Mike to work as a team with AMO. They track down Grassi's accountant, who leads them to Lorenzo's Zuelo Rodriguez. Infiltrating Zuelo's birthday party leads to a destructive car chase. Armando arrives in a helicopter to rescue Zuelo but kills him when he blocks Armando's way to shoot Mike. As he lines up a shot, Armando tells Mike "Hasta el fuego." Gunfire from Marcus creates cover for Mike, who falls into the ocean below. AMO is shut down because of the failed operation. In private, Mike reveals to Marcus that Armando may be his son. He explains that, 24 years ago, before partnering with Marcus, Mike worked undercover in the Aretas cartel where he met Isabel. They fell in love and intended to run away together, using Hasta el Fuego as a made-up secret catchphrase. Mike ultimately remained loyal to the police, realizing how dangerous Isabel would become. Despite Mike's opposition, Marcus and Amo join him in Mexico City to confront her. At the abandoned hotel, Mike meets Isabel and scolds her for concealing the truth from him. A shootout quickly ensues between Amo and Isabel's men. Marcus shoots the pilot of Isabel's escape helicopter, causing it to crash and start a fire. Marcus confronts Isabel, while Mike tells the truth to Armando. In a fit of rage, Armando beats on him, who refuses to retaliate. He demands the truth from Isabel, who confirms that Mike is his real father. Realizing the task he spent a lifetime training for was a lie, Armando tries to reason with Isabel, leading to her inadvertently shooting him while aiming for Mike. Enraged, Isabel attempts to shoot Mike again, but Rita shoots her, and she falls to her death into the flames below. Sometime later, Rita is promoted to captain, while Mike and Marcus are placed in charge of Amo. Mike visits a remorseful Armando in prison and offers him a chance to earn some redemption on a new case, which he accepts. Cast: Will Smith as Detective Lieutenant Michael Eugene Mike Lowrey, Marcus' partner/best friend. Martin Lawrence as Detective Lieutenant Marcus Miles Burnett, Mike's partner/best friend. Vanessa Hudgens as Kelly 8 weapons expert of Ammo 9. Alexander Ludwig as Dorn, tech expert of Ammo 9. Paula Nunez as Lieutenant Rita Secata, head of Miami Police Unit Ammo and Mike's ex-girlfriend. Jacob Scipio as Armando Aretas, Isabel's son. Charles Melton as Rave, member of Ammo. Kate Del Castillo as Isabel La Bruja Aretas, Mike's ex-lover and Armando's mother. Nicky Jam as Lorenzo Zuelo Rodriguez 10. Joe Pantoliano as Captain Conrad Howard. Teresa Randall as Teresa Burnett, Marcus' wife 11. Massey Ferlin as Lee Taglin. Happy Anderson as Jenkins. Dennis Green as Reggie Norman, Megan's husband. Bianca Bethune as Megan Burnett, Marcus and Teresa's daughter. Michael Bay as Wedding MC. DJ Khaled 12 as Manny the Butcher 13. Rory Markham as Booker Grassi. Ivo Nandi as Carver Remy. Production. Development. Michael Bay, the director of the first two Bad Boys films, stated in June 2008 that he might direct Bad Boys 3, but that the greatest obstacle would be cost, considering both Will Smith and himself demanded some of the highest salaries in the film industry. 14 By August 2009, Columbia Pictures had hired Peter Craig to write a script for the sequel. 15 In February 2011, Martin Lawrence stated that the film was in development. 16. Following several delays, Jerry Bruckheimer announced in June 2014 that screenwriter David Guggenheim was working on the storyline for the sequel. 17 2 months later, Lawrence said a script had been written and roles had been cast. 18 The following year in June 2015, it was reported that director Joe Carnahan was in early talks to write and possibly direct the film. 19 Sony Pictures Entertainment announced a short time later in August 2015 that there were plans for 2 sequels, with Bad Boys 3 scheduled for release on February 17, 2017, followed by Bad Boys 4 on July 3, 2019. 20 In early 2016, Bad Boys 3 was pushed to June 2, 2017, with no update on the release date of Bad Boys 4. 21 producers had planned to begin production in early 2017. 22 Another delay surfaced in August 2016, when, to avoid competition with the upcoming DC Comics film Wonder Woman, the studio pushed the film's release to January 12, 2018. 23 It was also revealed that the film would be titled Bad Boys for Life. 23. In an October 2016 interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Lawrence said filming might begin in March 2017. 24. In December 2016, an updated release date for Bad Boys 4 was set for May 24, 2019. 25. Sony announced in February 2017 that the film's release would be delayed for a third time to November 9, 2018. 26. The following month, Carnahan left the movie due to scheduling conflicts. 27. In August 2017, Sony removed the third film from their release schedule, and later in the month Lawrence said the film would not happen. 28. Planning resumed in February 2018 as Belgian directors Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah were signed, after development on Beverly Hills Cop 4 stalled, in place of Carnahan and Smith and Lawrence were confirmed to reprise. 29. Geek Worldwide reported that the third installment in the Bad Boys franchise would film from November 2018 to March 2019 in Miami and Atlanta, with the release date scheduled for January 17, 2020. 3031. Casting. In October 2018, Variety revealed that Sony was close to green-lighting the film's production. 32. It was reported in December 2018 that Joe Pantoliano would reprise his role as Captain Howard from the previous films. 33. Kate Del Castillo joined the cast in early 2019. 34. And it reported soon after Teresa Randall would reprise her role as Marcus' wife, Teresa, marking her first film appearance in 10 years. 35. Filming. Principal photography began on January 14, 2019, in downtown Atlanta. 36. 37. 38. Shooting also took place in Mexico City and State of Mexico in April 2019, as well as in Miami, wrapping on June 7, 2019. 39. 40. Cinematographer Robrecht Javier shot the film with Sony Cine Alta Venice digital cameras and Panavision Primo G and T series anamorphic lenses. 41. Music. Main article, Bad Boys for Life, soundtrack. The film was composed by Lorne Ball 42, whose new music was integrated with Mark Mancina's themes from the first film. Both trailers for the film include a remix/mashup of Bad Boys by Inner Circle, the franchise's theme, and Bad Boy for Life by P. Diddy, Black Rob, and Mark Curry. The official soundtrack album to the film, Bad Boys for Life, the soundtrack was announced by its executive producer, DJ Khaled, and released on the same day as the film. Black Eyed Peas and J Balvin recorded a song titled Ritmo, released October 11, 2019, which served as a lead single for the film's soundtrack. 43. The soundtrack also features tracks by many artists, including Nicky Jam, Quavo, Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Buju Banton, Bryson Tiller, City Girls, Pitbull 44 and DJ Durrell. 45. Release. Theatrical. The first official trailer for Bad Boys for Life debuted on September 4, 2019. 46, and its second trailer was released 2 months later on November 5. 47. Its world premiere was held at the TCL Chinese Theater on January 14, 2020. 48. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence arrived at the premiere driving a Porsche 911 Carrera 4s with the Bad Boys theme playing loudly from the car's audio system. 48. Bad Boys for Life was theatrically released in the United States on January 17, 2020, by Sony Pictures Releasing. 49. Home media. Bad Boys for Life was released digitally in the United States and Canada through Premium VOD on March 31, 2020, before the end of the usual 90-day theatrical run. 50. The film was released on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD on April 21, 2020. 51. Reception. Box office. Bad Boys for Life grossed $206.3 million in the United States and Canada, and $220.2 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $426.5 million, against a production budget of $90 million. 6.5 It is both the highest grossing film in the Bad Boys franchise and the highest grossing film released in January. 52. In the United States and Canada, the film was released alongside Doolittle, and was initially projected to gross $35 to $45 million from 3,740 theaters during its 3-day opening weekend, for a total of around $48 million over the full 4-day milk weekend. 53-54 After making $23.5 million on its first day, including $6.36 million from Thursday night previews, estimates were raised to $68 million for 4 days. The film went on to debut to $62.2 million in its first 3 days, and $73.4 million over 4, the second best opening for the holiday, behind American Sniper. 55 It made $34 million in its second weekend and $17.7 million in its third, remaining in first place both times. 56-57 The film's release in China was delayed following the country's movie theater closures that began in January 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. 58 Bad Boys for Life was eventually released in China on August 14, 2020, grossing $3.2 million in its first weekend. 59 After the easing of initial restrictions in the U.S., the film was released in 3 Cinticos Theaters locations in San Antonio, Texas on May 1, 2020. 60. Critical response. IndieWire described reviews for Bad Boys for Life as mostly positive, 61, while Screen Rant stated the critics were generally positive. 7. The review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 76% based on 270 reviews, and an average rating of 6.2/10. The website's critics' consensus reads, "Loaded up with action and a double helping of leading man charisma, Bad Boys for Life reinvigorates this long-dormant franchise by playing squarely to its strengths." 62. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 59 out of 100, based on 46 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 63 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale, equivalent to the first 2 films. 55 Post-Track reported an average rating of 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 73% of their respondents saying they would definitely recommend it. 55. Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter wrote that the third time really is the charm, and added, "The two directors roll with ease between raucous comedy and raw drama, to considerable effect, just as they crank up the tension on any number of occasions, occasionally with palpably visceral impact." 1. In a 2.5 out of 5 review, Michael O'Sullivan of The Washington Post explained that Adil and Bilal bring a breath of fresh air and fun energy to a franchise that felt somewhat stale, even 25 years ago, when the first film was likened, not inaccurately, to a carbon copy of Lethal Weapon. 64. Radhi and Simon Pillai of Now earned a 3 out of 5 rating, stating that Bad Boys for Life's relationship to its predecessors becomes what The Irishman is to Goodfellas and Casino. 65. David Ehrlich of IndieWire gave the film a B grade, calling it a fun, explosive, and even thoughtful action movie, and wrote, "Bad Boys for Life doesn't aim to raise the bar on its genre or rewrite the blockbuster rulebook, but it's a blast watching Lawrence and Smith revisit these characters and find a sensible place for them in the current Hollywood landscape." Willard Carroll Smith 23, born September 25, 1968, is an American actor, rapper, and film producer. Known for his work in both the screen and music industries, his accolades include an Academy Award, a Golden Globe Award, a BAFTA Award, and 4 Grammy Awards. Films in which he has appeared have grossed over $10 billion worldwide, 4-5 making him one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. 6-7. Smith first gained recognition as part of a hip-hop duo with DJ Jazzy Jeff, with whom he released 5 studio albums which contained 5 U.S. Billboard Hot 100 Top 20 singles: Parents Just Don't Understand, A Nightmare on My Street, Summertime, Ring My Bell, and Boom. Shake the Room from 1985 to 1994. He released the solo albums Big Willie Style, 1997, Willennium, 1999, Born to Reign, 2002, Lost and Found, 2005, and Based on a True Story, 2025. Two of his singles, Gettin' Jiggy With It and Wild Wild West, reached #1 in the US. Smith began his acting career starring as a fictionalized version of himself on the NBC sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 1990 to 1996, for which he was nominated for a Golden Globe in 1993 and 1994. He achieved wider fame as a leading man with the film franchises Bad Boys, 1995 to 2024, and Men in Black, 1997 to 2012, where he respectively portrayed Mike Lowrey and Agent J. After starring in the thrillers Independence Day, 1996, and Enemy of the State, 1998, he received Academy Award for Best Actor nominations for his portrayals of Muhammad Ali in Ali, 2001, and Chris Gardner in The Pursuit of Happiness, 2006. He also starred in commercially successful films such as I, Robot, 2004, Shark Tale, 2004, Hitch, 2005, I Am Legend, 2007, Hancock, 2008, 7 Pounds, 2008, Suicide Squad, 2016, and Aladdin, 2019. Abe. For his portrayal of Richard Williams in the biographical sports drama King Richard, 2021, Smith won the Academy Award for Best Actor. 9 At the 2022 ceremony, shortly before winning, Smith slapped and shouted at presenter Chris Rock after Rock made an unscripted joke referencing Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. 10 The event earned substantial media coverage and criticism, with Smith ultimately resigning from the Academy along with being banned from attending all their events for 10 years. 11. Early life. Willard Carroll Smith II was born on September 25, 1968, in Philadelphia, to Caroline, née Bright, a school board administrator, and Willard Carroll Smith Sr. 1213, a U.S. Air Force veteran, 14, and refrigeration engineer. His mother graduated from Carnegie Mellon University. 15. He grew up in West Philadelphia's Winfield neighborhood. 16, and was raised Baptist. 17. He has an older sister named Pamela and 2 younger siblings, twins Harry and Ellen. 16. He attended Our Lady of Lourdes, a private Catholic elementary school in Philadelphia. 18. And Overbrook High School. 19. His parents separated when he was 13. 20. And divorced around the year 2000. 21. Smith began rapping at age 12. When his grandmother found a notebook of his lyrics, which he described as containing all his little curse words, she wrote him a note on a page in the book: "Dear Willard, truly intelligent people do not have to use words like this to express themselves. Please show the world that you're as smart as we think you are." Smith said that this influenced his decision not to use profanity in his music. 22. Career. Further information: Will Smith filmography, Will Smith discography, and list of awards and nominations received by Will Smith. 1985 to 1992, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Smith at the 1993 Emmy Awards. Smith started as the MC of the hip-hop duo DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, with his childhood friend Jeffrey DJ Jazzy Jeff Towns as turntablist and producer. 23. Towns and Smith were introduced to each other by chance in 1985, as Towns was performing at a house party only a few doors down from Smith's residence, and he was missing his hype man. Smith decided to fill in. They both felt strong chemistry, and Towns was upset when his hype man finally made it to the party. 24. Soon after, the two decided to collaborate. Smith enlisted a friend, Reddy Roxy, to join as the beatboxer of the group, making them a trio. Philadelphia-based Word Records released their first single in 1986 when A&R man Paul Oakenfold introduced them to Champion Records with their single Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, a tale of funny misadventures that landed Smith and his former DJ and rap partner Mark Forrest, Lord Supreme, in trouble. 2526 The song sampled the theme song of I Dream of Jeannie. Smith became known for light-hearted storytelling raps and capable, though profanity-free, battle rhymes. The single became a hit a month before Smith graduated from high school. 27. Based on this success, the duo were brought to the attention of Jive Records and Russell Simmons. The duo's first album, Rock the House, which was first released on Word Up in 1986, debuted on Jive in March 1987. The group received the first Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance in 1989 for Parents Just Don't Understand, 1988, though their most successful single was Summertime, 1991, which earned the group their second Grammy and peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Smith and Towns are still friends and claim that they never split up, having made songs under Smith's solo performer credit. 28. Smith spent money freely around 1988 and 1989 and underpaid his income taxes. 23. The Internal Revenue Service eventually assessed a $2.8 million tax debt against Smith, took many of his possessions, and garnished his income. 29. Smith was struggling financially in 1990 when the NBC television network signed him to a contract and built a sitcom, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, around him. 23. The show was successful and began his acting career. Smith set for himself the goal of becoming the biggest movie star in the world, studying box office success's common characteristics. 20. In 1989, Smith was arrested in relation to an alleged assault on his record promoter, William Hendrix. The charges were later dismissed. 30. 1993 to 1997, solo music and film breakthrough. Smith's first major roles were in the drama 6 Degrees of Separation, 1993, and the action film Bad Boys, 1995, in which he starred opposite Martin Lawrence. The latter film was commercially successful, grossing $141.4 million worldwide. 31. However, critical reception was generally mixed. 32. In 1996, Smith starred as part of an ensemble cast in Roland Emmerich's Independence Day. The film was a massive blockbuster, becoming the second highest grossing film in history at the time and establishing Smith as a prime box office draw. 33. In the summer of 1997, he starred alongside Tommy Lee Jones in the hit Men in Black, playing Agent J. The film was released on July 2 by Columbia Pictures and grossed over $589.3 million worldwide against a $90 million budget, becoming the year's third highest grossing film, with an estimated 54,616,700 tickets sold in the US. 34. It received positive reviews, with critics praising its humor and Jones's and Smith's performances. During the summer of 1997, Smith also began his solo music career with the release of Men in Black, the theme song for the film, which topped singles charts in several regions across the world, including the UK. 35. Men in Black, and second single Just Cruisin', was later included on Smith's debut solo album Big Willie Style, which reached the top 10 of the US Billboard 200 and was certified 9 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIA. 36-37. The third single from the album, Gettin' Jiggy With It, became Smith's first Billboard Hot 100 number 1 when it was released in 1998. 38. 1998 to 2012, leading man status. Smith in 1999. In 1998, Smith starred with Gene Hackman in Enemy of the State. 23. The following year, he turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix in favor of Wild Wild West, 1999. Despite the disappointment of Wild Wild West, Smith said that he has no regrets about his decision, asserting that Keanu Reeves's performance as Neo was superior to what Smith himself would have achieved. 39 Although in interviews subsequent to the release of Wild Wild West, he said that he made a mistake on Wild Wild West. That could have been better. 40. Smith's second album was again supported by the release of a film theme song as the lead single. Wild Wild West, featuring Dru Hill and Kool Moe Dee, topped the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified gold by the RIA. 37-38 The album, Willennium, reached number 5 on the Billboard 200 and was certified double platinum by the RIA. 36-37 Will 2K, the second single from the album, reached number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100. 38 Before the end of 1999, a video album was released featuring Smith's 7 music videos released to date. 41 which reached number 25 on the UK music video chart. 42 The same year, he was also featured on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air co-star Tatiana Ali's single Boy You Knock Me Out, which reached number 3 on the UK singles chart and topped the UK R&B singles chart. 35-43. Smith portrayed heavyweight boxer Muhammad Ali in the 2001 biopic Ali. For his performance, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor, and the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Drama. 44-45 In 2002, following a 4-year musical hiatus, Smith returned with his third album Born to Reign, which reached number 13 on the Billboard 200 and was certified gold by the RIA. 36-37 The album's lead single was the theme song from Smith's film Men in Black 2, called Black Suits Comin', Nod Ya Head, which reached number 3 on the UK singles chart. 35 Later in the year, Smith's first compilation album Greatest Hits was released, featuring songs from his 3 solo albums and those produced with DJ Jazzy Jeff. 46. 2003 saw Smith return for Bad Boys 2, the sequel to the 1995 film Bad Boys. The film follows detectives Burnett and Lowrey investigating the flow of ecstasy into Miami. Despite receiving generally negative reviews, the film was a box office success, grossing $270 million worldwide. 31 In the following year, he starred in the science fiction film I, Robot and the animated film Shark Tale. Both films were box office successes despite mixed reviews. Smith's latest album Lost and Found was released in 2005, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard 200. 36 Lead single Switch reached the top 10 of both the Billboard Hot 100 and the UK singles chart. 35-38. In 2005, Smith was entered into the Guinness Book of World Records for attending 3 premieres in a 24-hour time span. 47 Smith and his son Jaden played father and son in the 2006 biographical drama The Pursuit of Happiness. In the film, Smith portrays Chris Gardner. Smith first became interested in making a film about Gardner after seeing him on 20/20 and connected with him during production. The film, along with Smith's performance, received praise. 48-49. Smith hosting the 2011 Walmart shareholders meeting. On December 10, 2007, Smith was honored at Grauman's Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. Smith left an imprint of his hands and feet outside the theater in front of many fans. 50 later that month, Smith starred in the film I Am Legend, released on December 14, 2007. Alongside marginally positive reviews 51 its opening was the largest ever for a film released in the United States during December. Smith himself has said that he considers the film to be aggressively unique. 52 A reviewer said that the film's commercial success cemented Smith standing as the #1 box office draw in Hollywood. 53 On December 1, 2008, TV Guide reported that Smith was selected as one of America's top 10 most fascinating people of 2008 for a Barbara Walters ABC special that aired on December 4, 2008. 54. In 2008, Smith was reported to be developing a film entitled The Last Pharaoh, in which he would be starring as Taharka. 55 Smith later starred in the superhero film Hancock 56, which grossed $227,946,274 in the United States and Canada and had a worldwide total of $624,386,746. 57 Sometime between 2008 and early 2009, Smith was offered the lead role in Inception but turned it down because he did not understand the story. 58 On August 19, 2011, it was announced that Smith returned to the studio with producer Lamar Edwards to work on his fifth studio album. 59. Smith again reprised his role as Agent J with Men in Black 3, which opened on May 25, 2012, his first major starring role in 4 years. 60-61 After the release of the film, Smith was content with ending his work with the franchise, saying, "I think 3 is enough for me. 3 of anything is enough for me. We'll look at it and we'll consider it, but it feels like that it might be time to let someone else do that." 62 Men in Black 3, released 10 years after Men in Black 2, 2002, grossed over $624 million worldwide. 63-64 Unadjusted for inflation, it is the highest grossing film in the series. 65. 2013 to 2022, Career Fluctuations and King Richard. In 2013, Smith starred in After Earth with his son Jaden. The film was a disappointment at the domestic box office and was panned critically. 66 Calling the film the most painful failure in my career, Smith ended up taking a year-and-a-half break as a result. 67. Smith and Suicide Squad co-star Margot Robbie in 2016. Smith starred opposite Margot Robbie in the romance drama Focus, released on February 27, 2015. 68 He played Nicky Spurgeon, a veteran con artist who takes a young, attractive woman under his wing. Smith was set to star in the sci-fi thriller Brilliance, an adaptation of Marcus Saki's novel of the same name scripted by Jurassic Park writer David Kerr, but he left the project to work on the Ridley Scott-produced sports drama Concussion. 69-70. In Concussion, Smith played Dr. Bennett Omalu of the Brain Injury Research Institute, the first to discover chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Smith reported he had doubts about the film early in the production, saying, "Some of my happiest memories are of watching my son catch and throw a football. I didn't want to be the guy who did a movie saying football could be dangerous." These views subsided when he met Omalu, whose words about American ideals resonated with Smith. 71 Smith's performance was praised for being sensitive and understated. 72. In 2016, Smith played Deadshot in the supervillain team-up action film Suicide Squad. 73 Smith's participation in the film meant choosing it over a role in Independence Day, Resurgence, which he said would be like clinging and clawing backwards. 74 While Suicide Squad was a massive financial success, earning over $700 million at the box office, the film received negative reviews from critics. Christopher Orr, film critic from The Atlantic, wrote that the latest offering from the DC Comics superhero universe may be the most disastrous yet. 75 Later that year, Smith starred in director David Frankel's drama Collateral Beauty, playing a New York advertising executive who succumbs to a deep depression after a personal tragedy. 76. Weeks after signing Smith onto the film, his father was diagnosed with cancer, from which he died in 2016. 77 As part of his role required him to read about religion and the afterlife, he was brought closer to the elder Smith, calling the experience a beautiful way to prepare for a movie and an even more majestic way to say goodbye to my father. 78 The film marked the lowest box office opening of Will Smith's career. 79 The film also received near-universal negative reviews from film critics. 80 Hollywood Reporter critic David Rooney criticized Smith's performance, writing as the least interesting component in a madly overqualified cast. 81. His film Bright was distributed via Netflix on December 22, 2017. An urban fantasy, it was the most expensive film for Netflix to date. Smith collaborated with his director from Suicide Squad, David Ayer. 82. This would also be another critical disappointment for Smith, with critics panning the film. Richard Roeper of the Chicago Sun-Times criticized the film and Smith's performance, writing, "By the time Will Smith barks the line, 'Dude, you can't go through Elktown,' with 100% urgency and sincerity in the mind-boggling mess that is Bright, it's clear we are watching a truly terrible, mountainous pile of genre-blending garbage." 83. Also in 2017, Smith released the song Get Lit, a collaboration between him and his former group mate Jazzy Jeff 8485, and launched his own YouTube channel, which as of July 2019 has over 6 million subscribers and 294 million total views. 86. Smith performed the official song Live It Up alongside American singer Nicky Jam and Kosovar singer Era Istrovai at the closing ceremony of the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Moscow, Russia. 87. That September, Smith appeared, alongside Bad Bunny, on the Marc Anthony song Estorico. 88. Smith performed the soccer 2018 World Cup's official song Live It Up. Smith portrayed the genie, originally voiced by Robin Williams, in the live-action adaptation of Disney's Aladdin, directed by Guy Ritchie. He also participated in the soundtracks by recording singles, Arabian Nights, 2019, Friend Like Me, and Prince Ali. 89. The film was released on May 24, 2019. 90. Aladdin grossed over $1 billion worldwide to become Smith's highest-grossing film, surpassing Independence Day. 91. Smith was also featured on rapper Logic's song Don't Be Afraid to Be Different, 2019, from his fifth studio album Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. 92. Smith appeared as an assassin who faces off against a younger clone of himself in Ang Lee's Gemini Man, released on October 11, 2019. 93. The film was a box office bomb and received negative reviews from critics. Variety's Peter DeBrugge called the film a high-concept misfire and wrote, "In practice, it's been a nearly impossible project to get made, passing through the hands of countless actors and falling through multiple times because the technology wasn't there yet. At least, that's been the excuse, although judging by the finished product, it was the script that never lived up to the promise of its premise." 94. Later that year, Smith had his second starring role in an animated film, in Spies in Disguise, opposite Tom Holland. Smith voiced Lance Sterling, a spy who teams up with the nerdy inventor who creates his gadgets, Holland. 95. In 2020, he re-teamed with Martin Lawrence for the third film in their franchise, Bad Boys for Life. In 2019, Smith and Keisuke Honda led a $46 million investment round in esports organization General G. 96. In June 2020, it was announced that Smith would star in Emancipation, directed by Antoine Fuqua, in which he portrays Peter, a runaway slave, who outsmarts hunters and the Louisiana swamp on a journey to the Union Army. 97. Smith's memoir Will, which was written with Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***ck, was published on November 9, 2021, and promoted with a tour. 98-99. The book is a journey of self-knowledge recalling childhood traumas, his relationship with his father, and his experiences with ayahuasca. 101. In the same year, he and his Westbrook Studios company signed a deal with National Geographic. 102. Smith portrayed Richard Williams, father and coach of tennis players Venus and Serena Williams, in the 2021 film King Richard. For his performance, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, 103 Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Drama, and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role. 104. On February 7, 2022, National Geographic announced that Smith would star in a series titled Pole to Pole, which will stream on Disney+. The series follows Smith and his film crew as they go on a 26,000-mile, 42,000 kilometers, trek from the South Pole to the North Pole, crossing all of Earth's biomes and spending time in communities along the way. 105 part of the filming took place during an expedition in the Ecuadorian Amazon which helped discover the northern green anaconda. 106. 2022 Oscars incident. Main article, Chris Rock, Will Smith slapping incident. Further information, 94th Academy Awards. During the 94th Academy Awards on March 27, 2022, Smith walked on stage and slapped presenter and comedian Chris Rock, who had made a joke about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. 107 with a reference to the main protagonist in the 1997 film G.I. Jane. Smith then returned to his seat and yelled at Rock, twice saying, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." 108, 109, 110. Pinkett Smith had been diagnosed with alopecia areata in 2018 and would later shave her head due to the condition. 111, 112. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, AMPAS, said that Smith was asked to leave the ceremony but he refused. 113. Later in the night, Smith was named Best Actor for King Richard and apologized to the Academy and the other nominees, but not to Rock, in his acceptance speech. 114, 115, 116. The live audience gave Smith 2 standing ovations. Smith remained at the ceremony until its conclusion and participated in the celebrations later that evening. 117. Following public backlash, Smith issued a formal apology via a public Instagram post. 118, 119. ABC, AMPAS, and the Screen Actors Guild condemned Smith following the incident, prompting an investigation by the Academy's Board of Governors. 120. Rock declined to press charges against Smith, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. 121. On April 1, 2022, Smith tendered his resignation from the Academy, writing in part, "I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken. I want to put the focus back on those who deserve attention for their achievements and allow the Academy to get back to the incredible work it does to support creativity and artistry in film. So, I am resigning from membership in the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and will accept any further consequences the board deems appropriate." The AMPAS president David Rubin accepted the resignation in an official statement but said they would continue their investigation. 122. Smith's resignation means he is no longer able to vote on Oscar nominations as a member of the Academy. 123. Commentators have speculated that Smith's resignation from the Academy and other related fallout from the slap would damage his family brand. 124. On April 8, 2022, the Academy announced its decision to ban Smith from future Oscars galas and associated events for 10 years. 125. Several film projects that Smith had been involved in were put on hold as a result of the controversy. 126. In a statement to CNN, Smith stated, "I accept and respect the Academy's decision." 127. 128. Smith offered an on-camera apology on July 29, saying he was deeply remorseful for his actions. 129. As a result of the incident, Netflix cancelled production on an action film that was set to star Smith titled Fast and Loose. 130. 131. In December 2022, Emancipation was released to mixed reviews and was a commercial failure. Producer Todd Black partially attributed the failure to Smith's involvement following the Oscar incident. 132. 2023, present, action films and return to music. In 2023, it was announced that Smith would co-star in Bad Boys, Ride or Die, the 4th installment in the Bad Boys film series. 133. The film includes a comedic moment inspired by the Oscars incident. 134. Smith is set to co-star with Michael B. Jordan in a sequel to I Am Legend. 135 136 The film is in active development. 136 Additionally, Smith is attached to star in the science fiction films Brilliance and Resistor. 137 138 Smith was attached to star in crime thriller Sugar Bandits, but exited the project in September 2024 due to scheduling conflicts with another undisclosed project. He will remain involved as a producer. 139 140 The following year, he signed a first-look deal with Paramount Pictures through his production company, Westbrook. 141. In September 2023, it was reported by Vibe magazine that Joyner Lucas and Smith would be working together on a joint album. 142 On May 19, Smith confirmed new music coming in 2024 in an interview with ET. 143 and that it is the most personal music he had ever done. 144 with Teddy Swims confirming he recorded music with Will for the upcoming project. 145. On June 27, 2024, Smith announced on his Instagram that his first solo single in nearly 20 years was coming out the following day, You Can Make It, saying through some of my darkest moments, music has always been there for me, to lift me and help me grow. It's my humble wish that it can do the same for you and bring you all the joy and light you deserve. 146 The song released at midnight that evening, featuring Friday Eye and the Sunday Service Choir. On July 24, 2024, it was announced that Smith had signed a new distribution deal with Slang, a newly formed independent label. 147 On July 26, 2024, Smith released another single, Work of Art, featuring his son Jaden and Russ. 148 149 On December 12, Smith released another single, Tantrum, with Joyner Lucas. In 2025, Smith announced his fifth studio album, based on a true story, which was released on March 28, 2025. The album consists of 14 tracks, including 5 previously released singles and 9 new songs. 151 On March 23, 2025, Smith performed at the 2025 CONCACAF Nations League Final at Sophie Stadium in Inglewood, California. 152. Personal life, relationships and family. Smith at the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize concert in Oslo, Norway with his family, left to right, son Jaden, wife Jada, Smith, daughter Willow. During the late 1980s, Smith confirmed he briefly dated Sandra Denton, better known as Pepa of the hip-hop group Salt-N-Pepa. 153. Smith married Cherie Zampano in 1992. Their son Willard Carroll Trey Smith III was born on November 11, 1992. 154 The two divorced in 1995. Trey appeared in his father's music video for the 1998 single Just the Two of Us. He also acted in 2 episodes of the sitcom All of Us, and has appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show and the David Blaine, Real or Magic TV special. 155. Smith married actress Jada Corin Pinkett on December 31, 1997. 156 They met when Pinkett auditioned for a role as Smith's character's girlfriend in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The pair produce films through their joint production company Overbrick Entertainment and Westbrook Inc. 157 158 Together they have 2 children, Jaden Smith, born 1998, his co-star in The Pursuit of Happiness and After Earth, and Willow Smith, born 2000, who appeared as his daughter in I Am Legend. Smith and his wife Jada have expressed unconventional practices in their marriage, jokingly calling their commitment bad marriage for life. 159 Both he and Pinkett Smith have admitted to having extramarital relationships and believing in the freedom to pursue them. Smith has said he wanted a polyamorous relationship with actress Halle Berry and ballerina Misty Copeland but ultimately abandoned the idea after therapy. 160 In October 2023, Pinkett Smith stated that she and Smith had been separated since 2016, though they have no intention to divorce. 161. In 2018, Smith celebrated his 50th birthday by performing a bungee jump from a helicopter in the Grand Canyon. 162. Smith was insured by Lloyd's of London for $200 million for the jump, which raised money for the charity Global Citizen. 163. Religious and political views. Smith was raised in a Baptist household and attended a Baptist church and Catholic school. In a 2013 interview, he said he did not identify as religious. 164. 165. In 2015, Smith said in an interview with the Christian Post that his Christian faith, which was instilled in him by his grandmother, helped him to accurately portray Bennett Omalu in Concussion, saying, "She was my spiritual teacher, she was that grandmother at the church, the one having the kids doing the Easter presentations and putting on the Christmas plays, and her kids and grandkids had to be first. She was the most spiritually certain person that I had ever met in my entire life. Even to the point that when she was dying she was happy, like she was really excited about going to heaven." 166. In 2018, Smith performed the Hindu rite of Abhisheka of Shiva at Haridwar, India. He also performed an arti of the holy river Ganga. He has said that he feels a deep connection to Hindu spirituality and Indian astrology. 167. Smith and his family also met and spent time with the Indian spiritual leader Sadhguru, stating that he enjoyed the heartfelt conversations between them. 168. Smith donated $4,600 to the 2008 presidential campaign of Democrat Barack Obama. 169. In December 2009, Smith and his wife hosted the Nobel Peace Prize concert in Oslo, Norway, to celebrate Obama's winning of the prize. 170. In 2012, Smith said he supported legalizing same-sex marriage. 171. In 2021, Smith announced that production of his upcoming film, Emancipation, was being pulled from the U.S. state of Georgia because of the recent passage of the Election Integrity Act of 2021, which critics viewed as a restrictive voting law, negatively impacting non-white voters. Smith and director Antoine Fuqua released a joint statement: "We cannot in good conscience provide economic support to a government that enacts regressive voting laws that are designed to restrict voter access." 172. 173. Public image and legacy. Smith has often been noted for achieving groundbreaking success throughout his musical career, and with his work as an actor in television and film. 174. 175. 176. Forbes referred to him as the biggest movie star of the post-9/11 era. 177. His transition from music to acting has influenced multiple rappers to also become actors, with him being cited as a pioneer for the rappers crossing over into acting by Complex. 178. 179. In 2006, Time named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world. 180. In 2008, Esquire named him one of the 75 most influential people of the 21st century. 181. Smith's roles as Agent J in Men in Black 3, Richard Williams in King Richard, and Daryl Ward in Bright are among the highest paid film roles of all time, with him reportedly earning $100 million for Men in Black 3. 182. 183. Smith's film Bright, 2017, broke the record at the time for the most viewed Netflix film ever for its first week. 184. 185. His action thriller drama Emancipation, 2022, was sold to Apple Studios for $120 million in June 2020, which made it the largest film festival acquisition deal in film history. 186. His work as a member of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince made them the first rap act to win a Grammy Award, and the first to win an MTV Video Music Award for Best Rap Video, when the song Parents Just Don't Understand won in the inaugural rap categories at both award show ceremonies. 10 187 188 XXL has referred to him as one of the most important rappers of all time. 189 as of 2013, his debut solo album Big Willie Style, 1997, is among the best-selling rap albums of all time. 190 Smith launched his acting career by starring in the NBC sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The show's success is considered to be a watershed moment for hip-hop and black television. 192 with some publications referring to it as one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. 193 194. Professor Andrew Horton said, Smith's genre of comedy, popularized on the sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, translated well into commercial box office appeal. 195 Author Willie Tolliver noted, what the Fresh Prince did accomplish was to put Smith and his character Will into an environment of affluence and possibility, thus changing the terms of his own black identity. 196. In 2022, Smith became the fifth black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor, after Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Jamie Foxx, and Forest Whitaker. 103 Since winning the Academy Award for Best Actor for King Richard and slapping Chris Rock at the 94th Academy Awards, Smith's public image and legacy has been intensely debated, with many saying the event has tainted his perception among many in the entertainment industry and beyond. 197 198 199 200 Ian Young of the BBC opined, Will Smith went from beloved film favorite to Hollywood villain when he slapped Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars. 201 This incident has turned into a viral meme. 202 He has done permanent damage to his image and career, and what might happen next? 203 Smith's reputation as a morally upstanding family man, a prominent film star and legacy in Hollywood have all been put in peril, with Greg Braxton of the Los Angeles Times noting, Smith's heroic stature inside and outside black culture, and his carefully constructed persona as the patriarch of a celebrity family, only intensifies the fallout. And his actions have now placed his reputation in jeopardy. Adding, Smith turned a night that should have been full of pride into one that can be described only as infamous. 204 The New York Times reported Smith's actions would damage his family brand. 124 Legal issues. On December 30, 2025, violinist Brian King Joseph filed a lawsuit against Smith and his management company, alleging sexual harassment, wrongful termination, and retaliation. Joseph claimed in his suit that he was fired from Smith's tour after reporting an intrusion by an unknown person into his Las Vegas hotel room in March 2025, in which he discovered a note signed Stone F and other items he interpreted as a sexual threat. The complaint further alleged that Smith groomed Joseph for exploitation, with Smith's legal counsel denying these accusations as entirely untrue and unfounded. 205 206 207 208 Acting credits and accolades. Main articles, Will Smith filmography and list of awards and nominations received by Will Smith. Smith has received multiple awards throughout his career, including an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as Richard Williams, the prolific father and coach to championship tennis players Venus and Serena Williams, in the biopic King Richard, 2021, a role that also won him a Golden Globe Award, BAFTA Award, and Screen Actors Guild Award in the same category. He also received a producer nomination for the Academy Award for Best Picture. Prior to this award, he was nominated several times for the Academy Award, 2, for Ali and the Pursuit of Happiness, the Golden Globe Award, 5, for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Ali, The Pursuit of Happiness and Concussion, and the Screen Actors Guild Award, once for The Pursuit of Happiness. In 2005, he received the honorary César Award. That same year, he was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Musical for Fela, and in 2021, he was nominated as a producer of Cobra Kai for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Comedy Series. Aside from acting and behind-the-scenes work on screen and stage, Smith has made ventures into hip-hop with the release of several songs, 4 of which won him Grammy Awards: 1 for Best Rap Performance, for Parents Just Don't Understand, 1 for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group, for Summertime, and 2 for Best Rap Solo Performance, for Men in Black and Gettin' Jiggy With It, the former 2 of which he won as a member of the duo DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. His Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award nominations make him one of few black actors to be nominated for all 4 major entertainment awards in the U.S. On March 26, 2025, Smith attended a ceremony where his name was added to red stripes at the bottom of street signs along a block of 59th Street in West Philadelphia. Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence I, born April 16, 1965, is an American actor and comedian. Lawrence began his career doing comedy shows, including in the Improv. After his first acting role in the sitcom What's Happening Now? 1987 to 1988, Lawrence co-created and played the titular character of the Fox television sitcom Martin, 1992 to 1997, which helped catapult him into larger film roles. His first major lead role on the big screen was playing Detective Sergeant Marcus Burnett in the buddy cop action comedy Bad Boys, 1995, a role he reprised in 3 sequels. 2. Lawrence went on to star in the commercially successful films A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, 1996, which marked his directorial debut, Nothing to Lose, 1997, Blue Streak, 1999, Big Mama's House, 2000, Big Mama's House 2, 2006, Wild Hogs, 2007, College Road Trip, 2008, Death at a Funeral, 2010, and Big Mamas, Like Father, Like Son, 2011, among others. His voice acting work includes the animated films Open Season, 2006, and Sneaks, 2025, and the animated television series Kid and Play, 1990. Early life. The fourth of 6 children, Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence was born on April 16, 1965, in Frankfurt, West Germany. His father, John Lawrence, was serving in the U.S. military at the time of his birth. Lawrence's first and middle names were after civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. and U.S. President John F. Kennedy, respectively. When Lawrence was 7, his father left the military, and the family moved from West Germany back to the United States, settling in the Washington, D.C. area in the town of Landover, Maryland. Lawrence's mother had moved herself and her 6 children into the troubled King Square housing projects where he would attend Dodge Park Elementary. Following his parents' divorce when he was 8 years old, Lawrence rarely saw his father, who was a police officer, serving as the police chief for the Franklin D. Roosevelt VA Medical Center in Montrose, New York. 3. His mother, Clora, née Bailey, worked several jobs, including as a sales representative and cashier at various department stores, to support her family. 4. 5 Small for his age growing up in the projects, Lawrence often engaged in street fights with other kids. He stated that it was his mother and older brothers who kept him out of jail where most of his childhood friends ended up. During his teen years, Lawrence excelled at boxing. While living in Fort Washington, Maryland, Lawrence attended Eleanor Roosevelt High School I and Friendly High School, and became a Mid-Atlantic Golden Gloves boxing contender. 6. Career. In his early days, Lawrence did comedy shows in the Washington, D.C. area and supported himself through odd jobs. Comedian Rich Shidner saw his act and suggested Lawrence make connections in New York. 7. Lawrence ended up moving to New York City and found his way to the comedy club The Improv. Shortly after appearing at the Imp, he did well on the show and made it to the final round, but did not win. However, executives at Columbia Pictures Television saw Martin's performance and offered him the role of Maurice Warfield in What's Happening Now. This was his first acting job. Upon cancellation of that show, Lawrence found bit parts in various films and television series. His breakthrough role was as C in Do the Right Thing. Other film roles followed, such as House Party 2, Talkin' Dirty After Dark, and the Eddie Murphy vehicle Boomerang. During this period, entertainment mogul Russell Simmons selected him to host the groundbreaking series Def Comedy Jam on HBO. Def Comedy Jam gave many comedians, including Chris Tucker, Dave Chappelle, Mike Epps, Eddie Griffin, Bernie Mac, and Cedric the Entertainer, mainstream exposure. During his stint with Def Comedy Jam, Lawrence appeared in his own hit series, Martin, which aired on Fox. The show ran from 1992 to 1997 and was an enormous success. Martin was the flagship of Fox's Thursday night lineup, which drew millions of viewers away from NBC's must-see TV lineup. He hosted Saturday Night Live on February 19, 1994, where he made crude remarks about women's genitalia and personal hygiene. The offensive portion of the monologue was edited out of NBC reruns and syndicated versions, and Lawrence was banned from NBC for a period of time until he received an apology from the president of NBC at the time, Warren Littlefield. Martin's ratings continued to skyrocket so much that Fox became more of a contender against NBC and came closer to being considered among the top television networks. In 1995 he acted alongside Will Smith in Bad Boys with wide success. After Martin ended its run in 1997, Lawrence found work in comedy films. He often starred as the second lead opposite actors including Eddie Murphy, Danny DeVito, and Tim Robbins. Many of his films were blockbusters at the box office, including Nothing to Lose, Life, Blue Streak, Big Mama's House, and Bad Boys 2. He also starred in critical and box office failures, including Black Knight and National Security. Regardless, his salary steadily increased to over $10 million per film role. He continued to work in film, with such films as Big Mama's House 2, which opened at number 1 at the North American box office and grossed almost $28 million its first weekend, and Wild Hogs, 2007, in which he played a bored suburbanite seeking adventure on the open road in a biker comedy alongside John Travolta, Tim Allen, and William H. Macy. In 2006, Lawrence appeared on Inside the Actors Studio, during which Lawrence briefly brought back to life some of the characters he had portrayed on Martin. He also appeared in Open Season as the voice of Boog, one of the main characters of the film, which also starred Ashton Kutcher, Deborah Messing, and Gary Sinise. In 2008, Lawrence starred in his first G-rated film, Walt Disney Pictures' College Road Trip, in which he co-starred with Raven-Symoné. In 2011, Lawrence reprised his role as FBI agent Malcolm Turner in Big Mama's, Like Father, Like Son, the third film in the Big Mama series. 10. In January 2013, it was announced that Lawrence and Kelsey Grammer were considering pairing up to star in a comedy for Lionsgate Television. Partners paired the two actors as Chicago lawyers from vastly different backgrounds who unexpectedly meet in court on the worst day of their lives. The show premiered on August 4, 2014, but was cancelled after one season after receiving poor reviews. 11. In 2020, Lawrence reprised his role as Detective Marcus Burnett in the third installment of the Bad Boys franchise, Bad Boys for Life, again alongside Will Smith. The film was considered a financial success, grossing $112 million in its first 4 days of release. 12. Lawrence starred in his first dramatic role in 2022's Mind Cage alongside Melissa Roxburgh and John Malkovich. On April 20, 2023, Lawrence earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. 13. Personal life, relationships and family. Lawrence was engaged to actress Lark Voorhees in 1993. He married Miss Virginia USA, Patricia Southall, in 1995. Lawrence and Southall have a daughter, Jasmine Page, born January 15, 1996. They divorced in 1997, and Lawrence began a relationship with Shamika Gibbs. Lawrence and Gibbs have two daughters, Iana Faith, born November 9, 2000, and Amara Trinity, born August 20, 2002, 14. After over 10 years together, they married on July 10, 2010, at Lawrence's Beverly Hills home. Actors Eddie Murphy and Denzel Washington were among the 120 wedding guests. 15 On April 25, 2012, Lawrence filed for divorce from Gibbs, citing irreconcilable differences and asking for joint legal and physical custody of the children. 16. Lawrence owns a farm near Purcellville, Virginia. 17-18 For several years, he owned a large mansion in the Beverly Park community in Beverly Hills, where he wedded Gibbs. However, following their divorce, the property was available for lease at $200,000 per month in June 2012. 19 In 2013, the property was up for sale for $26.5 million, and eventually he sold it for $17.2 million to Bruce Makowski, buying an Encino, Los Angeles property for $6.63 million. 20. In May 2025, Lawrence's daughter Jasmine married Eddie Murphy's son, Eric Murphy. 21. Arrests, lawsuits and health problems. In July 1995, while on the set filming A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, Lawrence lashed out in a violent rage and was then hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. 22. On May 8, 1996, he became increasingly erratic and was arrested after he brandished a pistol in the middle of an intersection on Ventura Boulevard in Los Angeles, screaming, "They're trying to kill me." He was again hospitalized, with his public relations agent citing exhaustion and dehydration as the reasons for this episode. 1 On July 29, 1996, he tried to take a gun on a flight and received 2 years probation and a fine. 23 In March 1997, Lawrence was arrested after punching a man in a Hollywood nightclub. 1. In August 1999, Lawrence slipped into a 3-day coma after collapsing from heat exhaustion while jogging in 100 degrees Fahrenheit 38 degrees Celsius heat in preparation for Big Mama's house while wearing heavy clothing and a plastic suit. 124 He recovered in the hospital after entering a near-fatal coma due to a body temperature of 107 degrees Fahrenheit 42 degrees Celsius, his breathing assisted by a ventilator. Paula Núñez Rivas, born April 8, 1978, is a Mexican actress. She became known for her role as Barbie in Amor en Custodia, 2005, a TV Azteca telenovela, and for her role as Evelyn Marcus in the Netflix series Resident Evil, 2022. 1-2. She began her career on theatrical stages at the age of 12. Years later in 1995 she would begin to participate in television. She is a graduate of the TV Azteca Acting School, CEFAC. 3. Paula has enjoyed some success, with starring roles in telenovelas such as Las Juanas, 2004, Mientras Haya Vida, 2007, Pasión Morena, 2009, and Reina de Corazón, 2014. In cinema, Paula has appeared in films such as Deseo, 2013, Detrás del Poder, 2013, El Más Buscado, 2014, El Cumple de la Abuela, 2015, Bad Boys for Life, 2020, and Bad Boys, Ride or Die, 2024. Personal life. Núñez was born in Tecate, Baja California, Mexico. She started acting in theater at the age of 12. 4 At the age of 16, she began her full-time career as an actress and graduated from the acting school CEFAC TV Azteca. 5 Núñez also produces soap operas. She remains close friends with Andrés Palacios, with whom she co-starred in Amor en Custodia, a notable telenovela in both their careers. She is fond of extreme sports. 6. Career. Núñez in 2010. She began her career at age 12 in plays and 16 in television. She became notable in Mexican television through the role of Barbara Basterica in the telenovela Amor en Custodia. In 2007 she joined the cause of Greenpeace to raise public awareness about global warming. 7 She has also been featured in several national magazines such as GQ in Mexico. 8. In July 2010, she appeared in the play Cinco Mujeres Usando el Mismo Vestido in Mexico playing Trisha. 9. The Mexican actress made the villain in the mini-series Cien Años de Perdón, a co-production of FIC Latin America and Teleintiaquia through Telecolombia, same starring actors Ana Claudia Talancan and Manolo Cardona, written by Luis Langelmi, Cadabra, Cumbia Ninja. 2014 Núñez starred in the American telenovela Reina de Corazones along with Eugenio Siller and Laura Flores as the main protagonists, while Juan Soler and Catherine Siacoque act as antagonists. 10. Núñez in 2013. Paula acted as Evelyn Marcus in the Netflix action horror series Resident Evil in 2022. Michael Benjamin Bay, born February 17, 1965, is an American film director and producer. He is best known for making big-budget, high-concept action films with fast-cutting, stylistic cinematography and visuals, and extensive use of special effects, including frequent depictions of explosions. 2-3 The films he has directed include Bad Boys, 1995, and its sequel Bad Boys 2, 2003, The Rock, 1996, Armageddon, 1998, Pearl Harbor, 2001, the first 5 films in the Transformers film series, Pain and Gain, 2013, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, 2016, and Ambulance, 2022. His films have grossed over $6.6 billion worldwide, making him the 5th most commercially successful director in history. 4-5. He is co-founder of the production house The Institute. 6. He co-owns Platinum Dunes, a production house which has remade horror films, including The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2003, The Amityville Horror, 2005, The Hitcher, 2007, Friday the 13th, 2009, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, 2010. 7. Early life and education. Bay was born in Los Angeles. He was raised by his adoptive parents Harriet, a bookstore owner and child psychiatrist, and Jim, a certified public accountant. 8. He was raised Jewish. 9, 10, 11 His grandfather was from Russia. 12. His cousin, Susan Bay, is the widow of Star Trek actor Leonard Nimoy, whom he eventually cast as the voice actor for Sentinel Prime in Transformers: Dark of the Moon. 13. He attended the exclusive Crossroads School in Santa Monica, California. 14. Bay often traces his interest in action films back to an incident during his childhood. As a boy, he attached some firecrackers to a toy train and filmed the ensuing fiery disaster with his mother's 8mm camera. The fire department was called and he was grounded. 15. Bay got his start in the film industry interning with George Lucas when he was 15, filing the storyboards for Raiders of the Lost Ark, which Bay believed was going to be terrible. His opinion changed after seeing it in the theater, and he was so impressed by the experience that he decided to become a film director. 16. He graduated from Wesleyan University in 1986, majoring in both English and film. 17-18 He was a member of the Psi Upsilon fraternity and a favorite student of film historian Janine Basinger. 19 For his graduate work, he attended Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, where he also studied film. 20 His classmates included future Hollywood film directors Tarsem Singh and Zack Snyder. Singh also appeared in one of Bay's student films as a camel salesman. 21. Career 1992 to 2005, breakthrough and stardom. Bay began working at propaganda films, directing commercials and music videos, 2 weeks after finishing his postgraduate degree. 20 His 92nd World War II inspired Coca-Cola advertisement was picked up by Capitol Records. His first national commercial was for the Red Cross, which won a Clio Award in 1992. 22-23 He directed Goodbye, Silverstein and Partners Aaron Burr commercial as part of the Got Milk. ad campaign for the California Milk Processors Board in 1993, which also won a Grand Prix Clio Award for Commercial of the Year. 24-25. Bay's success in music videos gained the attention of producers Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, who selected him to direct his first feature-length film, Bad Boys. It was shot in Miami in 1994 and starred Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. The action film was a breakout role for Smith, who was making a transition from television at the time. Shooting in Miami was a good experience for Bay, who would later own a home in the city and spend a great deal of time there. 26. The film was completed for $19 million and grossed a remarkable $141 million in the summer of 1995. 27. Bay's success led to a strong partnership and friendship with Jerry Bruckheimer. 28. His follow-up film, The Rock, 1996, an action movie set on Alcatraz Island and in the San Francisco Bay Area, starred Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, and Ed Harris. It was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer and the late Don Simpson, who died 5 months before its release. The film is dedicated to him. 29. Connery and Cage won Best On-Screen Duo at the MTV Movie Awards in 1997, and the film was nominated for an Academy Award in the Best Achievement in Sound category for the work of Greg P. Russell, Kevin O'Connell, and Keith A. Wester. 30-31. After the success of The Rock, Bay established his production company Bay Films, with a 2-picture deal with Disney. Bay left, and Jerry Bruckheimer during the filming of 1998's Armageddon. In 1998, Bay again collaborated with Jerry Bruckheimer, this time as a co-producer, as well as directing the action-adventure film Armageddon. 32-33. The film, about a group of tough oil drillers who are sent by NASA to deflect an asteroid from a collision course with Earth, starred Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, and Liv Tyler. It was nominated for 4 Oscars at the 71st Academy Awards, including Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Editing and Best Original Song. 34. It earned $9.6 million on its opening day and $36.5 million through the first weekend. 35. Its budget of $140 million was one of the highest of the summer of 1998. It went on to gross over $553 million worldwide, the highest grossing film of that year. 36. In 2001, Bay directed Pearl Harbor, starring Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Kate Beckinsale, and Cuba Gooding, Jr. It was released on Memorial Day weekend in 2001, again produced by Bay with Jerry Bruckheimer. It received 4 Academy Award nominations, including Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Editing and Best Song. Kevin O'Connell received another nomination for Best Sound, but did not win. Pearl Harbor won in the category for sound editing, making it Bay's first, and, to date, only, film to win an Oscar. 37. Bay also directed the music video for the nominated track There You'll Be by vocal artist Faith Hill. 20. Bay reteamed with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence for Bad Boys 2, a sequel that was Bay's 5th collaboration with Jerry Bruckheimer. It grossed $138 million domestically, enough to cover the production budget, and $273 million worldwide, almost twice as much as the first movie. In 2005, Bay directed The Island, a science fiction film starring Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. It was the first film Bay made without Jerry Bruckheimer as a producer. It cost $126 million to produce and earned $36 million domestically and $127 million overseas, for a total of $163 million. Bay said that he was not comfortable with the domestic marketing campaign, as it confused the audience about the film's true subject. 38. 2007 to 2016. Bay on the set of Transformers, New Mexico, May 2006. In 2007, he teamed up with executive producer Steven Spielberg to direct Transformers, a live-action film based on the Transformers franchise. Released in July 2007, by November of that year it had made over $709 million worldwide. 39. Bay returned as director and executive producer for Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, which was released on June 24, 2009 and grossed over $832 million worldwide. Although it received mostly negative reviews by critics, 40 including aggressively critical reviews by American film critics such as Roger Ebert 41, Michael Phillips 42 and David Denby, who referred to Bay as stunningly, almost viciously, untalented, 43. The film was well received by its intended audience and one of the highest grossing of 2009. 44-45 in 2010, it earned 7 Golden Raspberry Award nominations, and won 3, Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. 46. It was also one of the best-selling DVD and Blu-ray discs of 2009, second only to Twilight in DVD format, and the number 1 of all time in Blu-ray format until it was surpassed by Blu-ray sales of James Cameron's Avatar in April 2010. 47, 48, 49. Bay directed Transformers: Dark of the Moon, released on June 29, 2011, 50, which grossed $1.123 billion globally. 51. His next film was a comparatively small one he had been developing for years, called Pain and Gain. 52. The true crime story, based on events described in a Miami New Times article 53 by Pete Collins, concerns a group of bumbling bodybuilders working together to commit a robbery. 54. It starred Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne Johnson, Anthony Mackie, Tony Shalhoub, and Ed Harris. Bay filming Transformers: Age of Extinction, actresses Abigail Klein, Melanie Specht, and Victoria Summer are walking in a corridor. Bay produced DreamWorks I Am Number 4, based on a series of novels by Pittacus Lore published by HarperCollins Children's Books. DJ Caruso, Eagle Eye, Disturbia, directed. 55-56. A fourth Bay-directed Transformers movie, Transformers: Age of Extinction, was released in June 2014. 57. Starring Mark Wahlberg, it earned $1.1 billion at the global box office. 58. On January 12, 2016, Paramount Pictures released 13 Hours, which Bay produced and directed, based on the 2012 Benghazi attack. While the lowest grossing film of Bay's career at the box office, it went on to massive DVD sales on its digital release in May 2016, earning over $40 million in home video revenue. 59. 2017, present. On May 23, 2017, Bay was honored with his own hand and footprint ceremony at the TCL Chinese Theater. His English Mastiff, Rebel, put her paw in the cement with him. 60. Bay's fifth Transformers film as director, Transformers: The Last Night, was released on June 21, 2017. 61. It grossed $68.5 million in its 5-day North American opening weekend, the franchise's lowest opening, and $605 million worldwide. 62-63. In a 2016 Rolling Stone interview, Bay said it would be his final Transformers film as director. 64. In 2018, it was announced that Bay would direct the Netflix action thriller film 6 Underground, starring Ryan Reynolds, Melanie Laurent, Manuel Garcia Rulfo, Adria Arjona, Corey Hawkins, Ben Hardy, and Dave Franco. 65. It was released on December 13, 2019. 66. Bay was set to begin production on the action film Black 5 in 2020, but the project was put on hold because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Bay subsequently moved on to direct Ambulance. 67. Bay produced the pandemic-themed thriller Songbird starring Demi Moore, Craig Robinson, Paul Walter Hauser and Peter Stormare. 68. In 2021, it was reported that Bay requested financial compensation from film studio Paramount Pictures for indirectly limiting his income as a result of Paramount cutting the theatrical-only run of A Quiet Place Part 2 from 90 to 45 days due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bay, and other producers as well as actors for the film, as is typically the case, receive payment in part based on box office performance, and a reduction in the theatrical run's exclusivity affected the pay they received. 69. Bay's next film was 2022's Ambulance, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Isa Gonzalez. It follows two bank robbers who hijack an ambulance and take two hostages. Shot during the COVID-19 pandemic in Los Angeles. 70. It was released in the US on April 8, 2022, by Universal Pictures. 71. On September 2, 2024, Bay's first documentary series, Born Evil, The Serial Killer and the Savior, premiered on Investigation Discovery. Bay directed and executive produced the 5-episode series about serial killer Haddon Clark. 72. On July 24, 2024, it was reported that Bay was developing a franchise based on Alexei Gerasimov's Skibidi toilet web series. 73. Bay later denied any involvement in such a project. 74. On April 21, 2025, it was reported that Bay is working with Universal to develop a film based on the 1980s arcade game Outrun, with Sydney Sweeney on board to produce. 75. On August 7, 2025, it was reported that Bay is working with Paramount to develop a new Transformers film. 76. Unrealized projects. Main article, Michael Bay's unrealized projects. Production and effects companies. Platinum Dunes. Main article, Platinum Dunes. Bay founded production house Platinum Dunes with fellow producers Brad Fuller and Andrew Form in 2001. 77. Digital Domain. Main article, Digital Domain. Bay and Windcrest Holdings, a Florida-based investment firm, acquired the digital effects company Digital Domain from James Cameron and Stan Winston in 2006, infusing the struggling business with a $50 million investment. Digital Domain considered an initial public offering in 2009 but withdrew the offer due to lack of interest. It was sold to the production group Beijing Galloping Horse in 2012. 78. The Institute. After leaving Propaganda Films, Bay and producer Scott Gardenauer, also formerly at Propaganda, formed the Institute for the Development of Enhanced Perceptual Awareness, now known as the Institute, to produce commercials and other projects. Through the Institute, Bay has directed and produced spots for Victoria's Secret, Lexus, Budweiser, Reebok, Mercedes-Benz, and Nike. One of his Victoria's Secret ads was for the 2009 8000 Fantasies holiday campaign. 79. 451 Media Group. Bay co-founded 451 Media Group with Doug Nunes, who is CEO, and with John and Anthony Gentile, who previously marketed brands such as Micronauts, Visionaries, Sky Dancers, and the Power Glove. In 2015, the company announced an interactive publishing division to offer augmented reality content from printed graphic novels with digital video. The graphic novels employ touch code technology from T+ Ink, previously used in the Power Glove, in which ink used in the printing process unlocks access to exclusive content that is housed on the Machinima network, which is transferred to users' touchscreen-enabled mobile devices when the printed books are touched to those devices. The company's premiere slate of graphic novels was unveiled at the October 2015 New York Comic Con. The creators involved included Scott Rosenberg, Skip Woods, George Pelekinos, Mark Mallouk, Clay McLeod Chapman and Peter and Paul Williams. 80, 81, 82, 83. Rogue Initiative. In June 2016, Bay joined the Rogue Initiative 84, a production studio and technology company, as a strategic advisor and stakeholder. The studio merges Hollywood production with interactive talent to generate story-driven content for games, mobile, virtual reality, mixed reality, television and feature film. As part of the partnership, Bay will develop and direct a multi-platform action-adventure game and cinematic VR experiences, based on an original IP conceived by him. Personal life. Bay lives in Miami with his 3 English Mastiffs, named for characters in his films. As a boy, he donated his bar mitzvah money to an animal shelter, and he now often includes his dogs in his films. Bone Crusher appeared as Michaela's dog Bones in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Mason, his first English Mastiff, was named for John Patrick Mason, played by Sean Connery in The Rock. 85 Mason appeared as Marcus's dog in Bad Boys 2 and as Miles' dog in Transformers. He died during production of the latter film in March 2007. 86-87. Bay is not married and has no children. 88 He previously dated sportscaster Lisa Durgan. 85. In a 2016 Rolling Stone